How to know when God is speaking. 90% of people think God speaks through miracles or loud voices. They are wrong. The real danger is not that God doesn't speak. The danger is that He may be whispering the key to your breakthrough right now, and you are too distracted to hear. Do you want to learn how to listen to Him? But before continuing, answer me silently. Why does this topic move you so much today and not yesterday? Think about it as you listen. Because the truth is simple. You have already heard God. The problem was never God not speaking. The problem has always been you not recognizing Him. And here begins the first turnaround. First point, God does not speak the way you imagine. Many people expect God to speak with a thunderous voice, open vision, or an angel appearing. But God rarely speaks like that. He speaks in the subtle flow between what you think and what you feel. He speaks in that idea that appears and you don't know where it came from. He speaks in that peace that comes out of nowhere, or in that discomfort that keeps you awake at night. But why is He so subtle? Because God doesn't need to shout to those willing to listen. The shout is for those who are far away. The whisper is for those who are close. If God is whispering, it is an invitation to come closer, not to despair. But here comes the part almost no one tells you, and which stops 90% of people. When God speaks, responsibility comes with it. And responsibility scares. Often, God's voice requires you to step out of the boat, end that lukewarm relationship, quit that secure job, or forgive someone who hurt you deeply. And because the command is difficult, the human mind creates a filter of denial. You prefer to believe it's just in your head rather than admit it's an order from heaven. That's why many pretend they didn't hear. That's why you may have ignored signs for years. But there is a secret to unlock this. God never speaks to your comfort zone. He speaks to your potential. If the voice you hear only agrees with your laziness or your fears, be suspicious. God is movement. Second point, the unmistakable signs. There are 3 signs that almost always reveal it is God speaking. And here you need to be honest with yourself, because the line between your will and His voice can be thin. Sign 1, the peace that doesn't make sense. No matter the chaos around, the world may be falling apart, bills arriving, diagnosis frightening. But deep down in the basement of your soul, there is a solid stillness. Something says, go. This is the way. I am in control. This peace is not human. Human peace depends on favorable circumstances. God's peace is imprinted in the middle of the war. It functions like a compass. If you think of making a decision and the peace disappears, the Holy Spirit is saying no. If the peace remains despite fear, He is saying yes. Sign 2, the persistent discomfort. You know when you decide to do something wrong or at the wrong time? When it is God, you even try to take another path, but something pulls you back as if the wrong path were too heavy. You feel a bitter taste in your soul. Things start to go systematically wrong. The door gets stuck, the car breaks down, the message doesn't get through. God disturbs before He directs. He creates a holy discomfort where you are to force you to move to where you should be. Often, your current crisis is not an attack of evil. It is God making your nest uncomfortable to teach you to fly. Sign 3, the repetition of the same topic coming from disconnected sources. You think about the theme in the morning. Someone talks about it at lunch. It appears in a random video in the afternoon. It comes up in a conversation with a stranger. It pops up in a verse before sleep. This is no coincidence. This is a siege. God is surrounding you with the answer. It is what we call divine synchronicity. When heaven wants to speak, it aligns the universe around you so that the message is undeniable. If you see the same pattern repeating 3-4 times, stop asking for confirmation. The repetition is confirmation. The vital difference: condemnation versus conviction. Before we move on to the next turnaround, we need to clear a mental noise that confuses many people. You might think, but I hear a voice that accuses me, that says I'm bad, that I don't deserve. Be careful, that is not God. There is a surgical difference between the voice of God and the voice of the accuser or your wounded ego. The voice of guilt, accusation, is vague, heavy, and paralyzing. It says, "You are a failure. You will never change. God is disappointed." Its aim is to make you give up.
God's voice is specific, illuminating, and motivating. It does not say, "You are bad." It says, "That attitude was wrong. Ask for forgiveness and change." God's voice points out the error to bring healing. The voice of the mind points out the error to bring shame. If the voice paralyzes you in bed, it is fear. If the voice gets you up to act, it is God. And here comes the second turnaround. Third point: God speaks, but your logic screams. It is hard, but necessary to understand this. Logic is an amazing tool for surviving on earth, but it is terrible for understanding heaven. Often you do not know when it is God speaking because you are trying to understand before obeying. Logic wants guarantees. Faith wants obedience. Logic wants to see the whole map. God only shows the next step. If you are waiting for everything to make sense to believe it is God, you will wait forever. Noah built an ark without ever seeing rain. Abraham left home without knowing where he was going. God's voice often goes against your financial logic, your career logic, and what society says is success. Fear is in a hurry. God is precise. Fear screams and demands an immediate solution. God whispers and works in eternity. Fear confuses and creates catastrophic scenarios. God clarifies and brings focus to the present. If you are desperate, anxious, confused, you are not hearing God. You are hearing the echo of your own emptiness. There is a simpler and more direct way to recognize God's voice. It is not religion, it is not ritual, it is not a magic technique. It is this filter. If the voice draws you closer to who you were born to be, it is God. If it distances you and diminishes you, it is not. And remember, you were born for His glory. God does not speak to shrink you or keep you small. He speaks to expand you. God does not speak to humiliate you publicly. He speaks in secret to align you. God does not speak to paralyze you with fear of the future. He speaks to give you the key to now. And here comes the point many have never noticed, the true test of spiritual maturity. God only speaks clearly when you are willing to obey. This is serious. If you want to hear God's voice only as advice for you to decide whether to follow or not, He will remain silent. God does not give suggestions, He gives directions. If your internal stance is, "Speak, Lord, and I will analyze if it's worth it," heaven closes. But if your stance is, "Speak, Lord, your servant listens and will do," clarity comes instantly. The voice is distant not because God has moved away, but because you closed the door to the answer with the key of indecision. Fourth point, silence is also an answer. Maybe you say, "I did all this, yet I still only hear silence." The clearest moment God speaks is sometimes when He says nothing. It is when you reach the limit, when your strength runs out. God's silence is not abandonment, it is trust. The teacher remains silent during the test. If you are going through a period where God seems mute, know this: you are in test day. He is testing what you learned in the previous phase. He is seeing if you move by emotion or conviction. It is at this exact point, when the soul is still and despair ceases, that God can finally be heard. Because when you stop trying to control the outcome, He begins to operate the miracle. And here comes the third turnaround. You do not want God to give you an answer. Let's be honest. You want Him to confirm what you already decided. You already have the plan A and want God to stamp it. But God does not confirm whims. God confirms purpose. And purpose will always require from you growth, courage, renunciation, truth, change. If the answer you seek asks nothing of you, it's probably not God. It's just your comfort speaking. Listen to these 4 practical steps to hear God today. Do not complicate what is simple. The connection is available now. Step 1. Be silent for 2 minutes. The world shouts on your phone, on TV, in your head. Turn everything off. No gospel music, no prayer out loud. Just breathe slowly. Silence is the language God uses first. You need to lower the volume of the world to hear the frequency of heaven. Step 2. Ask only one thing. Don't make a list of requests. Don't try to solve your whole life. Ask, Lord, what is the simple next step I should take? That's it. No detours. Focus on now. Manna is daily. The direction is for today. Step 3. Notice the first clear thought that appears. Attention here. Clear means without fear, without ego, without comparison, without urgency. It is a clear, simple, direct thought. Usually it's so simple you don't even take it seriously. It could be, call so-and-so, ask for forgiveness, write that idea down, stay quiet. God's voice is gentle. It does not compete with the noise of your mind. It waits for the noise to pass. Step 4. The 5-second rule. Do something small today. God speaks when you move. If the thought came, obey within 5 seconds or write it down. If you wait, logic comes and kills the instruction. The answer grows as your obedience grows. God will not give you step 10 if you haven't obeyed step 1. The strongest truth of this video is this: you are not trying to learn how to hear God. Deep down, you are trying to remember what it was like when you could, because you have already heard. Remember when you were a child, or when your faith was simpler? You felt it, you were guided, you knew. What happened? Life made you cynical. Disappointments created layers of protection around your heart. But what is missing now is not a sign. It is the courage to lower your guard. So listen carefully now. The doubt you have carried for weeks, the decision you postponed out of fear of failure, the feeling you ignored thinking it was nonsense, the path you fear to enter because it seems lonely, all this is not random. It is the call. You are not here by accident. The algorithm did not bring you here. The Spirit did. God does not put a video like this in your path without intending to unlock you. The question is not, is it God speaking? The final question is, are you ready to bear the answer and obey? If this video spoke to your spirit and not just your mind, do 3 things now to seal this moment. Number 1, comment, I am listening. Not for engagement, but because when you write, you materialize your faith and position yourself before the spiritual world. Number 2, save this video. Doubt will return tomorrow or next week. Noise will try to confuse you. Keep this saved as a beacon when the fog descends. And number 3, share it with someone specific. Don't just drop it in any group. Send it to that one person who just came to your mind. Maybe they are kneeling, asking for exactly this sign you just received. Be God's mouthpiece for them today. Heaven is speaking. Your time to act is now.